Allow me to show you something.
Black.
What's going on? Welcome back to another Media Man Live. We got this slick setup going on. I'm glad you guys decided to join me on this dining etiquette live stream, but we got a lot more. I have a great video that I want to show you guys. You know, I keep going back in the past because it helps me do these video on demand just because I need to see what happened in the past and how that translates into the present conversations that we have in regards to Black relationships. You guys will absolutely enjoy this Ricki Lake video. Hidden gem. I found it. Finally, all these videos are starting to come out because I've seen a lot of people questioning, you know, Kevin Samuels when he was saying, man, Ricki Lake, Sally Jesse Raphael, Rolanda, Oprah, they all used to cook Black men. And everybody's like, I didn't see no videos. Yeah, that's why I'm here. So we go get into it. But yeah, like I said, man, we're going to watch a couple of videos from one of my favorite channels. One video from their Gentleman's Gazette. And also, before we get into the Ricki Lake, I'm going to show you guys how to identify different utensils, different plates that you use in a formal setting. And in real time, I'm actually going to set up the placements right here. That's why I have this white table so you guys can see it. And also I have the black background so I can show you guys the differences between the sizes of a dessert spoon, dessert fork, salad fork, your meal fork, so on and so forth. So it's going to be amazing live stream. You guys will learn a lot. Definitely some clippable information and some etiquette and manners that you can practice or you can use when you go on that nice date with a beautiful woman, or when you go on that nice date, ladies, with a handsome gentleman. You can show some some decorum basics, when you go out, and this is something you could practice at home just to have some knowledge. And I know before anybody says it, man, this is not acting white. If you guys don't know about the Gilded Age of Black America, I'm definitely going to educate you tonight. Black Americans have always been very dapper. We have been very respectful. We are very respectful to this day. But I just don't want you guys to think that this is us trying to be white. I've heard certain things like that before. Absolutely not. But we will talk about code switching as well. I have a video for that just to show you guys. But yeah, this is how Black people carry themselves in public, at a formal dinner or a formal dining area or formal, at somebody's house when they're serving, a nice meal. This is how you carry yourself. Okay. So just something to have in another tool in your toolbox. Yes, I think it's going to be a good time. Okay. So yeah, but before we get started, let me go ahead and acknowledge Pool Man, where you at? Let me see here. I got to go back up. Pool Man for putting all the links in the description. Greatly appreciate it. I see Olua in the building. What up, though? Good you guys came early, man. This is going to be a very important live stream, man. We got a lot going on. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Man, I just seen some thunder and lightning. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Texas, and the part of Texas I'm in, Houston, we had a tornado warning. I guess there's a tornado that touched down somewhere around here, but nothing hit my home, thank God. Hit our home, thank God. That's thunder. You guys didn't hear that. So hopefully the power doesn't go out. I pray that it doesn't, because I do not want this to mess up this live stream. Okay. Let's see here. Dante Bryan with the $5 bomb said, Brother Double M, what up, though? Hold on, let me give you your just due. Here we go.
It's shaking on the mother table. Black man trying to make it in society. Sitting on hip because I know they want to rob. Black man, it's shaking on the mother table. Black man, we need all that.
Thank you, good brother. And we also got Air Force Reek in the building, $2 bomb. Salute, Media Man and chat. Thank you, good brother. And also we got Brendan in the building with the $10 bomb. He said, Media Man, thank you for this. The value you give is incredible. We all need this. Oh, man, it's my pleasure. Anything that I've learned over the 46 years that I've been on this earth, I hope to pass on to everybody that's on my channel. And if this can help anyone in any way, because I know that a lot of Black men are entering into corporate spaces, you guys are earning more money. So you're going to get more visibility. And with that visibility is going to become spaces where you have to, carry yourself in a respectable manner. And I know the common narrative in the Black community is that we can't be our true, authentic self. And I hate the word code switching, because it alludes to the fact that we just don't know how to act accordingly when we have to assimilate in certain spaces. So Black people are definitely, able to do that. And, we got to get rid of this code switching. It's just acquiescing to your environment. Okay. Oh, I almost missed your acknowledgement. Here you go, brother.
I took it back to my old energy. And she telling me she feel the chemistry. That's bullshit. She just know I'm rich, but keep going, sweetie.
Thank you, good brother. Appreciate that. So in the event that the power does run out, as soon as it comes back on, I will definitely pick up the show where it left off. So don't go anywhere, just in case. I'm just giving a PSA before we get to it. But yeah, if anything happens, we're going to finish the show, because I need this information to get out. Okay. So what do I got first? Let me see here. What's on the the docket first? Okay. So before we get into this Ricki Lake live stream, we're going to do table setting. Okay. And we're going to identify different things that you need when you're setting a formal dining event or a dining setting. So before we get into it, let me just let you guys know that my dominant hand is my left hand. However, I typically shoot long rifles with my right hand, okay? But when I eat, I am left hand dominant. So the way that I'm going to set this up is, if I was going to a formal dinner, you give the the RSVP, and they will typically ask you, is anybody left, right-handed? Do you have any allergies, so on and so forth? This tends to happen when you go to nice events. So what I tend to do is say, hey, we have one in the party that is left-handed, which will be me. So they would set my table setting up in a left-handed manner. But this can change depending on where you're at. In Europe, they have the continental style of how you eat and cut your food. And in America, we have to be different. We have our different way as well. So if you are right-handed, you may switch your your table setting in a different way. Okay, depending on how you plan on eating, traditional or American. All right. So first, I'm pretty sure you guys know what this is. You get you a nice placemat. Can everybody see this? Let me know if you guys can see this. Nice little placemat. It's not a requirement because you're gonna have other things that's gonna go down there as well. So get you a nice table, placemat. Okay, you see that? So what you're gonna do, of course, you're gonna line it up. If you're sitting at the head of the table, you take your thumb about an inch away, so to speak, and gonna be right there at the end. So you just measure it like that. Okay, ladies and gents, cool. So you got the table setting right there. So the next thing that you're going to use, you probably think plate. No. Let me get these out the way. I got all my fine silverware out. Okay. So this is what is called a charger plate. A charger plate is, of course, decoration, of course. However, in the event that they don't have a placemat, and they bring you out a plate of hot food, you would need a charger plate so you won't damage the tablecloth. So that's what people typically use this for. And also to pick up any food debris when you're being served or when you're eating. And that's going to come in handy here in a second. I'm going to tell you why this is important. But yeah, it's like, you guys can hear that. So it's about like, a little steel metal plate or whatever that you use. And you put that down there before, right there in the center. So it's very simple. Y'all got that? Cool. Next thing you're going to put down is, of course, your dinner plate. So you're going to use your dinner plate, put that right in the center. Right there. I can't see the front thing. It should be lined up. Okay. So you got your dinner plate right there, and this is how it's going to be typically set up. The next thing you're going to get, you have two bowls, right? So the bigger bowl is always going to be your salad bowl. The smaller bowl is going to be your soup bowl if soup is being served, okay? So your soup bowl goes right there in the middle. Pretty simple. Salad bowl, and then soup bowl right there. Bang. All right. Hold on, let me put this out there. And then the next thing that I like to go to is a little bit off-centered, and you can kind of line it up the way that you want to. I'm going to bring this over here. So this will be your bread plate, a little small plate. You guys probably have some of these in your cabinets, but yeah, this will be your bread plate. This would go right off to the side, a little bit away from the placemat. So right there, caddy corner. Cool. Let me move this so you guys can see that. I need this in a second. Right there. Cool. Cool. All right. So right there in the middle of the bread plate, this is your butter knife. And the reason why I have this here is to show you guys what it actually looks like. It's a little bit different from your regular knife, or like the butter knife that we're used to. You see that? So this is the butter knife that you guys that we are typically used to using. Can you see the difference? See how it's a little bit curved a little bit? So this is a little small knife, and it goes right there on your bread plate. Right about, I want to say 10 to 4. So to speak. Yeah. If you're using a clock. So you guys see that? Here we go. Right there. And you always want to put the serrated edges facing you, because if you put it this way, then that in some countries that's considered threatening. I know it's a little thing, but I always like to put the edges or the serrated edges, the sharp side, close to me, like pointed directly towards me. Okay. So about 10 to 4. So now you got, let's see our setup here. Oops. So we got all of our plating already set up. That's a little off. I don't like that. All of our plating a little bit set up, so we good to go. We're not done. We definitely got a bunch more. So the next thing that you're gonna use, I'm trying to get things out of the way, is your tea and coffee saucer. About the same thing as a bread plate. So you just have that like right there off to the side. Got that, and I won't have enough room right here. So I gotta change it up a little bit because I gotta put the silverware down just to show you guys. Let me get this out of here. Cool. All right. Let me move this. Get that right there. Okay. I'm trying to make room here because I got to do this together. Okay. So we got our cup and saucer. I'm going to try and put this as far over there as possible because I want to have some room. And then you're going to have your tea or coffee cup. Very simple. You can put the handle like this way. Or some people do like this, but I like to put it like this so I can just easy pick it up. Okay. Right there. So now you can't see it right now, but I'm going to clear some of this stuff out as well. And then when you have your glasses, I wonder if anybody remembered the video that I did on different wine glasses and flutes, right? Okay, so I'm gonna wait. If you guys remember, which one is this one for? The medium-sized glass. What is this for? I'm not trying to quiz you guys, but I did put out a video about this just to educate. Let's see here. Keep going. Let's see here. What is this for? No. Anybody? Bueller? All right. So this wine glass is typically for the white wine. The smaller glass, just remember that, for the white wine. All right. Small. Large, of course, is for what? Full-bodied red wine. Okay. And this is pretty used. This is I had to take this out of the safe because I collect these. This is Baccarat crystal. So I had to take it out of the safe. We do have some that we use, but it's typically Waterford, the marquee sets. But these, I'm definitely keep those at keepsakes. They are collectors. And then you have your flute for your champagne. Okay. I see Olua got it. Olua. Now, this is your water glass. Always get you some nice water glasses. This is a Waterford crystal glass. It is typically affordable. You can find the marquee version of these for about $41 for a set of 4, but this is actual crystal glass. It may not be full lead. It just is just a little bit of percentage down. This is a full lead crystal. Okay, that's why it costs a little bit more. And this is specifically for the guys. Get you a nice water glass, whiskey glass, whatever it is. Okay, get you one of those. And this is a regular glass. I don't know if you could tell the difference right there, but you could tell the difference in the weight. So look, this one is a little bit heavier. Okay, so when you're setting up your cups, your glasses, you're going to have the water glass right there to the side. Same thing like we have the bread plate. You could typically go off that, and it's going to be what next? I see some, we know we got the small. We know we got this. So the next thing, you're just going around, and you're making a 4. So you got 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then you got what? 12 o'clock right there. And then you have 3 o'clock right there. Some people, you could have it a little bit closer depending on, how far you have to reach and things like that. So now you got your foursome set up. Done with that. Now to the most important part, your utensils, your cutlery. Where's my... here we go. Because I want to show you guys the differences. And don't worry, this will be clipped up, okay? So, as I stated, let's start here. Don't fail me. Oh. We can see that? Oh, yeah, that's perfect. I know y'all probably like, God, dog, how many you got? All right. So you got 4 forks. I know people like, man, we doing too much, man. We just doing a lot. Okay. So yeah, so these are your 4 forks. So I mean, the simple way to remember them is the bigger one, of course, is going to be your dinner fork. Okay. So the largest one is going to be your dinner fork. Then you're going to have your salad fork right there. That's the medium sized one. And then you're going to have your dessert fork. That's the smallest one. Okay. And then you're going to have your seafood or oyster or fruit cup, little skewer. They call it a fork, but it's typically used for like shrimp, or you can use this for oysters. When they give you like a medley of fruit, you can pick it up with this small little prong type fork. It has 2 things. Okay, right there. See that? There we go. So then the way that you set it up is you're going to work when you eat, you're going to work from the outside in by the how they set up the different courses, the courses of meals. Okay? So if I say, you go from the outside in, then the closest fork to your plate would be your dinner fork. So that gets put like right there. Got that there. And it's right off to the left. Remember, like I said, I'm left-handed. Okay. So then the next fork would be your salad fork. You put that right there, line it up, everything so it's nice and neat. Bam. And then you have your dessert fork. Where y'all think this go? It doesn't go here. Let me show you. Your dessert fork goes right there at the top because that's the last course that you're going to use, right? It's going to last course you're going to eat, okay? So that's going to go right there. And then if they even serve you this with anything, then you could just leave it on the side. But typically they'll serve this with the plate that or the cup that the shrimp cocktail comes in, or the fruit medley or something like that. It's rarely put out there on the plate, but if it is, then you can put it right there. That's fine, or something like that. It doesn't matter. This won't be here once you do it. I like to put mine right there. If I do plan on serving seafood, then our little shrimp cocktail, you can put it right there. That's perfectly fine. And then, since we got that, you got your knives. Hold on, let me get a couple more. I think I got a couple more. I'm gonna just use this one. So this is going to be your salad knife to the outside. Let me move that. I got another fork just in case I forgot. Okay. And then you got to have your steak knife. All right. So this was actually a gift. So some Japanese steak knives that I haven't even used yet. So I just pulled them out here, but you guys get to see this. You guys see that? Look at that. Oh man, these are nice. This is a gift. So your steak knife would typically be right there. And you could put that right there. And then we're missing our spoons. Give me a second. I want to show you guys the differences in these as well. Right there. Okay. So once again, we got the largest one. We got the medium size. And we got our smallest one. So you guys see the difference? Okay. So the largest one, that's going to be your soup spoon. I got to pull this up. I ain't got room. I'm going to move the glasses here in a second so you guys can see where the soup spoon goes. So that goes right there to the side. And then you're going to have right here. This is your coffee. Oh, my bad. Coffee or tea. That goes right there. And then just like we did with the dessert fork, you have your dessert spoon. And of course, this goes right there aligned at the top of your setup. Okay. Shit. All right. So you got everything set up. And the reason why the dessert fork and spoon is at the top is because you just simply slide it down when it's time to eat. You see that? So whichever side it's going to be on, you just slide it down from the top. And typically your servers will do that for you. If not, you can do it yourself and you slide this one the same way. And it'll be like right here once the stuff is cleared off. Okay. That's not long. Okay. I got my mouse right here. All right. So there you have it. That's from start to finish on how you set up your plating once you get prepared to serve a formal dinner. And this is something you could practice a gentleman with a nice young lady. If you got your nice table, it won't just surprise you. You have her, over your house, you serve a nice little meal. These are for women that you like. I know y'all, man, these women don't deserve it, medium man. No, man, with a woman that you actually like, you set that up and you good to go, man. Okay. So that's how you do it. And then also you have your napkin and you could just do a simple fold. You don't have to get fancy with it. I know people like to do swans and shit like that. Nah, it's more than acceptable to just have a nice little fold like that. See right there? Okay. And you just put that to the side. You can line it up and that's going to be everything. So that's how it looks when you sit down. So I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to show you guys how you're supposed. Hopefully you can hear me when I say this, but all right. Got my back pillow because I'm old. All right. So when you first come to the table, you guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? We good? Let me put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'll wait. I'll wait. Let me see. Okay, I'm good. All right. So when you first come to the table, you do not immediately sit down. Typically, you wait till everybody is by their chair like you're waiting, right? And then you go off of the host. So if the host sits down, then you sit down, okay? Guys, or if you're out on a date with a young woman or with a beautiful woman, you sit her first, right? She comes to her chair, you hold it out for her, and you gently slide it in. So you do that before you sit down. You go ahead and make sure she's good. Then you go to your chair and you sit down. So when you sit down, the first thing that you're going to do, don't make any too much noise with your chair. You sit down and you grab your napkin. That's the first thing you do. You don't need to do all this. Don't cause a scene. Don't draw any attention. I see people doing this. Nah, man. If it's folded up, just simply do this. Grab the napkin, bam, when you first sit down, and you put it on your lap. And that's going to stay there until, just say you have to use the restroom, but you don't voice that to the table. You just say, excuse me for a second, and you get up, and since you already been eating, you do not put your napkin on the table. Don't do that, because you may have food debris on this napkin. Where do you put it? So when you sit down, you got it there, and you say, excuse me for a second. You sit up, you put it on your chair. Put it on your chair, tuck it in, and then you go out. Okay, do what you need to do. When you come back, you grab the napkin, sit down, don't make too much noise. Fix your napkin, good to go, and engage in conversation or whatever you was doing. All right. Now, if a young lady has to go use the restroom, right, she has to go powder her nose, so to speak, 90s Coke. She got to go powder her nose or something. When she gets up, she excuses herself. What do you do as a gentleman? You get up. And then you sit down when she leaves. When she comes back, you get up again. Okay. Then you wait till she sits down. You can either help her or then you sit down. Okay. Every time. Now, if somebody, you know, like one of your, let's say your brother or something like that comes later a little bit, or somebody comes to the table and you have to greet them as a man, you always stand up, shake their hand, do what you need to do. Okay. Never stay seated when you're shaking a man's hand. And I'm specifically speaking to the young men because I've seen some young men do that. No, don't sit down and shake a man's hand. I just always thought that was very dainty when I see guys doing that. Okay. All right. So let me get that out here. Now, since we're here, I want to show you guys a different way to cut your food, traditional and American style. So I got to remove some of this stuff here real quick. All right. So let's say you're in Europe. It is perfectly acceptable. Remember, I'm left-handed, so I like to cut my left-handed. One thing you do not want to do, and and shout out to that young lady that was there. She was holding her fork, or I think it was a fork or a knife or something like that. She was doing like this, and she had to like hold it down, and people was cooking her for it because she really didn't know. So I don't want you guys to look awkward or get cooked on social media. So one thing you don't want to do is what I'm doing right now is like waving the knife around. You don't want to, hey, that was a good, hey, what you talking about? No, that's threatening. Just remember that. Okay. So if you're in Europe, traditional style, or, in Britain, something like that, the traditional way that they eat, they just grab, they have both of their utensils in their hand. They cut, they hold, they press, and you don't want to saw. You don't want to do all that where you got to move. Just nice, gentle strokes, pause. For the ladies, sometimes they'll teach you the ladies to do like this. Just cut in one direction. Okay? So when you're cutting, unless you're cutting the food or the steak or the chicken for a child, never cut more than one piece, the piece that you are going to eat. And when you do cut a piece, make sure it's small enough to where you don't have to, smack. You don't have to open your mouth and all this type of stuff. Get small bites to where you can, navigate it in your mouth, pause, and then you go ahead and eat it. So if you're in Europe, you cut your little piece right there, and they keep the knife in their hand, and then they eat. Okay? This is the traditional style, all right? The American style is completely different. Let me show you guys. And you may not even recognize it, but I do it all the time. So you come, if you're in America, like we are now, we do the crisscross, of course. Okay. So you have your utensils, you secure it right there. You cut your food just like that. And then instead of keeping the knife in our head, we do the crisscross. We place this down and then we switch sides. And we grab it and then we eat. You see the difference? Like this and this. Okay? This traditional America, this. And you don't want to have the handle sticking out. So this is us. Okay? So let me show you guys again. This is for Americans. Right there. Got it. Like I said, I'm left-handed, so I crisscross once, press down, cut my food, and instead of keeping this in my hand, crisscross. And then you grab the food, and then you bring it to your mouth. You never lean down to eat food, and that's why you have the charger plate, and you also have your napkin on your lap. This is going to be tougher, and that's why it's very important that you get small pieces of food. So when you eat in American style, you're going to keep this hand on your lap, you grab your food, and you never lean down to eat. No. Grab your food, bring it up to your mouth, and then you put it in your mouth, pause, and then you chew. And then you get ready to eat your next meal. So then again, you got to crisscross. Grab, depending on which hand you are. You cut another piece. Put this right here. Crisscross. Grab your food, hand in the lap, right there. Okay? Bam, bam. Not this. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I know this, and the reason why this, you probably like, man, it's easier if I just do it like this. Dinner is supposed to be like, a place where you can, talk, and you're supposed to spend a little bit of time with each other, right? So that's why these formal dinners tend to take a little bit of time. And the last formal dinner that I was on was at the Macallan Distillery. You guys remember I took a trip all the way to Scotland so I could purchase a barrel of Macallan to invest in. And they set it up to where we had a nice formal dining setting right there in the distillery. It was absolutely amazing. I'll post some pictures here after we get done. Okay. So yeah, it was great. Let me see here. Put that right there. So while there's food or drink on the table, it is never you cannot put your elbows on the table. Okay. So if there's food and drink or whatever on the table, never do this. But while you're waiting, or if you're waiting for the next course, you can sit your wrists on the table like this. Make sure your hands are always seen. All right. You guys see how my hands are? You could do like this. You could rest them right here. Talk with everybody, do what you need to do. But if there's no food or drinks or whatever on the table, right, you can put your elbows on the table. It's perfectly fine. And that's in any setting. But as soon as that food come, right here. Okay? We good? All right. That should be very simple. I'm thinking if I miss any other simple things that you guys need to know. Oh, another thing, if you have to ask for the salt or ask for the pepper, if there's a little caddy right there, you never just give them one. Okay, so think of it like this. If I asked you, if you were sitting here and I say, hey, could you please pass the salt? And then instead of just giving me the salt, you give both. Okay, you give the salt and pepper, because typically it comes in a little caddy. I wish I had one. We just have those big electric, grinder salt and pepper things. But yeah, the little small one comes in a caddy. You give them both. Thank you. Same thing with bread. All right. So if the bread is over there, instead of reaching over the table to grab the bread, you ask somebody to pass it to you. Could you pass me the bread, please? They pass you the bread. You grab the bucket or whatever it is, the little basket. You grab one piece of bread, okay, and then you give it back. That's simple. It's a simple thing. But then one thing that you need to know about bread, it's perfectly fine to break it with your hands into small pieces. And instead of buttering the whole roll, you only butter the piece that you're about to eat. And if there is a bread or a butter plate, then you just go ahead and grab you a nice little sliver of it. You don't take the whole thing, and you sit it on your bread plate. And that's the butter that you're going to use, so you can make sure that there's enough for everybody at the table. Don't go overboard with the butter. All right, just take enough to where you can butter your roll and you're good to go. So it's perfectly fine to break it with your hands in the little small pieces, and then you go ahead and butter that typical piece. A little small piece, you eat that, good to go. Okay. All right. So what did I miss? Let me see here. Let me see. I can't see. I got that over there. Did I miss anything? Okay, we good. And I'm definitely going to clip all this up. Somebody asked. Okay. Yes, somebody said, will it be available for replay? Yeah, absolutely. Hold on, I missed some super. That's my bad, y'all. we was cooking. This was fun. Let's see it. William with the 1999 bomb. He said, gonna have to come back and watch the replay. Thank you for the knowledge and wisdom. Oh, man, absolutely. Like I said, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I don't mind at all. Let me see here.
I took it back to my old energy. And she telling me she feel the chemistry. That's bullshit. She just know I'm rich. But keep going, sweetie.
All right. And then we got Air Force Reek, $5 super chat, said in my John Witherspoon voice, Sadiddy. But this is great information though. Yeah, I love John Witherspoon. Rest in peace, Pops, man. But and some of the most, the stuff that is wrong. Like, where's my water at? Where did I put? Oh. So I think this goes without saying. When you have your water, you don't have to. Is that proper? No. Okay. Take you a drink of water. Right there. Okay. I don't want to put that up. And then also, if you have to use your napkin, you got it on your table. Instead of doing this, all this stuff, you just dab a little bit. If you got to put some pressure on it, you could do that as well. You could do this right there. Nice little swipe. Nobody will notice, but you could just do a nice little swipe. Bam. And then you put it back down there. Okay. You shouldn't have a gang of stuff on your face. And I know that the folks with children, small children, you guys like to go out to eat and stuff like that. That is very tough to do, but I mean, you got to manage it. If you got to take your kids out to a formal dinner, so be it, because they're going to make a mess. And typically when you have children, what I used to like to do when I went out with my daughter, if she made a mess, which kids always do, I would like to tip them a little bit extra. Common practice, most people, like the bare minimum tip is about 10%, 15% if the service was good, and then 20% if the service was amazing. And I'm pretty sure it's a couple of videos out there that will tell you the same thing. That's typically the rule of thumb. Or if there was a tough, like if something went wrong at your table and the person is doing everything that they can to make sure that you guys have a great experience, I'll just tip them a little bit more. I'm a very generous tipper. You always want to make sure you take care of your servers. You never be disrespectful. None of that. Okay. Especially with the gentlemen. Please do not do that in front of a woman's company. And the same thing goes for women. I told you guys a story that a long time ago, I dated a woman who, when she would go out, she would order drinks, but instead of ordering the exact drink that was on their menu, she would tell them, "Oh, can you put this in it? Oh man, do you guys have any of this? Can you put that in it too? And take that out. I don't like that." And she would do that all the time, and it bothered me so much because at the end of ordering, she just created another drink that's somewhat disrespectful to the restaurant. Okay. And I used to hate that. I'm like, oh my God, this girl is changing the whole thing. And the same thing as somebody, if they have chicken Alfredo, your friend would be like, "Hey, instead of the chicken, can you put steak in there? Can you substitute it for steak?" I'm like, oh Lord. So yeah, so try and go with, whatever. And then also another thing, and this may be a little bit of bonus. What if you go to a formal dining setting and they serve something that you don't like? What do? Don't be disrespectful. I don't like that. No, just leave it on the plate. Try it if you can. If you can stomach it, just try it, and then you can typically leave it there. All right. So it's in certain ways to signal if you're done with your meal or you're still going. If you're still eating, then you could just do like this. If you have to get up and you're just taking a break, or you sit back and you're taking a break from eating, you just, you can either crisscross, or it's a couple of ways. I know in certain countries, they like to do like this, about 10 to 4. It's many different ways that you can signal that you're done eating, but typically by your plate, they will know and they will go ahead and pick it up, or they will understand that if it's crossing, you can sit there and wait and you just finish your food or whatever. Or they'll ask. And I remember I mentioned this before, guys, when you're out in at a restaurant and they'll serve you your dinner, and you guys will take a bite, take a couple of bites, and your mouth is so full, the server will come back and be like, "How you guys enjoying it?" And you sitting there, I hate that. Typically, like if it's a nice setting, I'm gonna, have them wait, and then I'm gonna chew my food, and then I'll answer them after that. But typically, what the servers like to do, what I learned as being a public health professional for a while and doing those food inspections, they would do that because they don't want to be bothered. So they will come over there and wait till y'all got some food in your mouth, so you won't be demanding certain things from them, because all you want to do is get them out of your face. Be like, it's good. And then they'll go away or whatever. So typically, if it's a nice place, they won't do that. Okay, they'll wait, and then or they'll see that you have a break in eating, and then they'll ask you, "Is everything to your liking?" "Oh yeah, it's great, thank you." It is what it is. And then also, if you have to send certain things back, and it was a fault of theirs, let's say if you ordered something that has it has onions in it, but you tell them to take off the onions, but they serve it to you and it does have onions, you could tell them to go ahead and take it back because that's an error on them. Okay, but if it's an error on your end, then it's typically frowned upon for you to tell them to take it back. Like if you did order something, but you like, nah, I want to order, I wanted this instead because it doesn't, whatever. That's typically frowned upon, but you're paying at the end of the day. So if you order something and it doesn't taste right, or it's too hot or something like that, too much pepper, then it's perfectly fine to send that food back. But if it's something trivial, try and stick with it because you don't want to put the servers through a lot of strife trying to get your food and stuff like that. So typically enjoy it. It's frowned upon, but you're paying at the end of the day, so you do what you want. All right. Okay. So I think we covered everything with this. Yeah, I think we good. Yeah, let me see. Let me make sure. Cool. We good. Oh, y'all hear that? So if the power goes out, we're going to come right back. But like I said, guys, if you go on Amazon, I believe you can find these. These are Marquis Crystals, Waterford. You can find these. It's comes in a 4. Let's see here. I got to put these back there. But yeah, 40. I think these are 40, 41, $45, somewhere around there. Okay. Get you some nice Waterford crystals, ladies and gents, especially if you're a whiskey drinker. You got to have some of those. And then you could probably find some nice steak knives on Amazon as well. These are good. This is a Soyokami steak knives 2-piece set. These are good. But and then like I said, I gotta put these up. So, and these are my like I said, I collect the crystals from Baccarat. So I keep these in here. And these are very heavy. You guys can see those. Get you some of those if you want to spend a little bit, but they aren't for use because I want to collect them. Okay. And then they give, when you buy them, they give you a little little seal of approval. So if you were to resell or you sell it to somebody that is a collector, you got everything in there. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. Oh, yep. Got everything. Cool. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Yep. We good. Let me get this out of here. So that was fun. I don't mind doing these types of live streams, man. Here you go. I think Pooh Man found him. Pooh Man found him. There you go. Thank you, Pooh Man. There you go. Right there. Thank you. This one. Right there. Bing. Give me a second. Okay. Right there. Everything, my placemat. Cool. All right. Thank you, Pooh Man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Bam. All right. So we should be good to go. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I know this is kind of out of the norm in these spaces, but I just don't want you guys to look at a place. And I know there's a lot of, ladies and gentlemen that are in these, nice spaces. And I don't want you to think that, you're going to feel out of place. So best believe that I'm going to clip this up so you guys can have it and just refer back to it. It should be very, very simple rules. If it, you can kind of tell if something is absolutely crazy, but just remember certain things once you're, out and about doing in these formal settings. Okay. And then also one of these live streams, you will go over the appropriate way to dress in a formal setting. You can never go wrong with white and black. But yeah, we'll go over that as well, just to help you guys out a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let me see. Did I miss any supers? Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in on this. We got 63 folks in here. I know this is kind of, again, off the off the typical stuff that we talk about, but yeah, it's all good. I don't mind. Let's see here. Let's see what Olua said. Hey, thank you, Olua. For those just coming in, medium men set the table with the charger plate, dinner plate, salad bowl, soup bowl, bread plate to the side. Okay. Did they miss? Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it will be clipped up. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Olua. I appreciate it. All right. We should be good to go. Let me get this out of here. Got plates and shit on there. It's all good. Let's see here. Oh, cool. And we got 100 likes already. Damn. Thank y'all. Appreciate it coming in and coming out. All right. Now we can get to some foolery so I can trigger y'all. So now if you came in, we're going to have some fun. So as I stated before we started the show, I've been on this kick of going in the past to line it up with the statistics that I've been reporting on. If you've seen some of my most recent video on demand, you guys are starting to notice that I've been going all the way back from the 1950s to present day. Now we're going to make a quick stop to 1994, and we're going to watch an episode of Ricki Lake. You guys know what the topic is? Yeah, mala. Well, let's find out. Y'all ready? We need max participation. Let me know if you hear some of the, the same things that we hear in these spaces. Let's see. Let's see what we get to. Fair use. Fair use. Here we go. Let me see here. This should be good. Give me 1 second. Nice Gentleman's Gazette.
People who say that interracial dating is the only way to go because they would never date someone of their own race. They say they're just not attracted to their own kind, and they're going to be confronted by people in their lives who say that they are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Interracial dating. This is going to be amazing. And of course, who you think they got up there? Who do you think that they have at the forefront of this conversation? You think it's a black woman? You think they got a black woman up there talking about interracial dating? Absolutely not. It's one of us. It's one of us, brother. Older. Oh, and the channel is Talk Show Rewind. You guys can find this episode on the YouTube channel Talk Show Rewind. Okay, fair use.
And in the opinion of my guests, beauty is not found within their own race. Meet Eric. He says that black women are too materialistic. He is not attracted to them, and he will not date them.
He's starting off hot. That brother look like me when I got glasses on. He said black women are too materialistic. Jesus. Repeats itself. History repeats itself. Mr. Walker, what up, though? Member for 21, so let's go. Salute, brother. Man, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. And thank you for being here, man. Yeah, so you guys heard that. Now look at his aesthetic. What does he look like? Does he look like and I'm going to stereotype here, black women, bear with me, but he doesn't typically look like the type that, black women go for when they're younger. Is that fair to say? All right. Let's get to it. Oh.
Now, wait a minute. Before we behead this poor guy, let's hear what he has to say, okay? Why won't you date black women?
The experiences I've had with black women is basically the first thing they want to know is how much money do you have? What kind of car do you drive? What can you do for me? And so forth. My experiences.
Sound familiar, right? This is 1994, okay? And he was adamant when he said, my experience, me. That's what he said. He didn't say anybody else's, just me, okay? Here we go.
So your experiences, you couldn't possibly have dated all the black women in this world, could you?
No.
So
Okay, I have to stop it right there because from a mathematical perspective, what Ricki Lake just did there is a small sample fallacy, okay? Of course, there's no way that he's gonna be able to date all black women and then determine, yes, now that I've dated all the black women in the world, I can honestly say that all of them are materialistic and they all ask for money. That is the same argument that a lot of people use on social media because they try and throw you off your square. No black men and no black women. You don't have to date every black man or black woman to gauge your perception or your preference on what you actually like and go for and what suits you best. You do not have to do that. And shout out to, and I'm going to use this example again, shout out to Average Man Unplugged. About 2 or 3 years ago, he was on a panel show speaking about the Passport Bros. And it was like, well, yeah, you need to move to another state to try and date women in this state and go over here. He's like, no, I've dated enough to come to the conclusion that based off of me dating black women and me dating white women, I just feel like white women are more my speed. So, to use the excuse of, well, you got to date all black women. No, they just try and do that to get you off your square. Stay on task, stay on the point, leave it at that. Okay? Remember that.
don't you think you're generalizing just a little?
I'm not generalizing for anyone else except for myself. What I'm saying is that in my experiences, that's what I've
Okay, you
experienced.
say that black women are greedy, selfish, and arrogant.
The ones that I have dated, that I've come in
Any black woman want to take on that stage?
Of course they do. Look at it. They ready to get to him, ain't they?
Statement. Yes.
Look, ooh.
Stand up, ma'am.
I just think that you haven't dated enough black women, or the ones that you date, you must have poor taste in women, because a good black woman will tell you what to do. She'll be able to handle herself, and you will just be wonderful with her. You'll have a good time.
Now watch this. This is a perfect example of how social media conversations tend to go. When there's women on the panel, watch what she says. Hold on. This is going to be good.
So you're saying that the problem is that he hasn't found the right black woman.
I don't know who he's dating, but I just think he's dating the wrong people. You must have a very poor choice
Why?
of
You could be
women.
right. You may be right. I mean,
Because me and all of my friends here, we are not looking for men with money. We're looking for men with education.
I know, and I didn't say that.
And that's what we.
You see that? You see what she just did there? Same thing happens on talk shows, panel shows today. Not me and my friends. We don't act like that. I don't know any women that act like that. You must be dating the wrong kind of women. I don't know what kind of women. It's the same thing. Me and my friends. Oh no, we don't act in such a way. We're looking for men with education. Nah. Same thing. This is so good.
Exactly, and that's not what I said. I didn't say
You didn't
every
say
black
that.
woman was looking for someone with money or what they can do for them. That's not what I said. I said the ones that I have encountered with, that's how they approach me.
So because of those women that you've encountered, you refuse to date an entire race of women.
At this point in my life, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now you also say that white women are passive.
Yes.
Now, I got it. This is perfect. Remember I told you guys, when a group of men or someone gives white women a compliment opposite of black, in comparison to black women, white women on social media cannot lean into that because it's going to remove them from the sisterhood. So they have to make sure that they let this black man know, hell no, we just like black women. But there's going to be a perfect example of this here in a second. But watch what Ricki Lake says. They have to shame him back because black women are watching. All right, watch Ricki Lake.
Not this white woman.
See that? Look. And she even had, look at her face. She even had the, not this white woman. You got to watch it. You see that? Well, black women are in the audience. So if she would have just let him cook with that, then they would have been looking at her crazy. Like, oh man, you going to just take that compliment? You going to just sit there and say that black women, and we can't be docile, which there are some black women that are, docile and submissive or whatever. Maybe a small percentage, but white women can't lean into those types of compliments, especially on social media. And I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this. There was a white woman that went viral because she was speaking down on black men who say that they prefer white women. She went viral for saying all this, crazy stuff about black men who say that. And she did that because she knew that would get a rise from black women. Like, nah, they don't want y'all either. When the statistics show otherwise. We already know that. And we're going to cover some statistics here in a second, okay? But she got to be a part of the sisterhood.
But again, Ricki, what I'm saying is that the white women that I have encountered, that I have approached, that I have dated, are passive.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I want to know if you.
Nope. I'm going to stop them. Remember I told you guys that us as black men, we contributed to this shit. Now look at his archetype. Look at his aesthetic. Does he look like the type of black man that most black women would go for? I would say absolutely yes, because he has on the Def Jam recordings. He's not dressed in a suit. Some black woman is going viral as we speak for speaking down on the young black men who are wearing quarter zips. And she also spoke negatively about the black man who was wearing suits. Okay? Remember that? Did a video on it. There's another woman going viral about this. So again, when a black man is wearing a suit, that's typically not the preference of most black women. But this guy, yeah. But again, I told you, black men, we contributed to this shit. And he is a perfect example. Watch. Hold on. And y'all go, wait, hold on.
Did you have a black mother? And if you did, that should be your role model, man.
She is.
You can't just diss black women. If your mother is a black woman, how you gonna diss black women? You should take my example from your father, man.
Your mama black. Where'd that come from? Didn't come from a black woman. Black man. Your mama black. Y'all see? You see? We contributed to this shit, bro. That's why they say the same. But he's going to contradict himself thoroughly. Oh, my God. Watch this.
Your father got with a black woman. Yes. What is your problem, bro?
So you're saying you would never date outside your race?
Look, I like women. I don't care what color they are. They could be red, all right?
That's the same thing. So he not on the black women's side as well. Dr. Umar wouldn't approve of that. It's the same thing. Oh, no. I like all women. She could be red. I don't matter. But you supposed to be pro-black, brother. And you telling these good black women in the audience that you would date a white woman? Yeah. Caught your ass. Yeah, 1994. I was going to say something. Sucker. Yeah. Caught your ass. Here we go.
I'm just saying that you cannot sit there and diss black women because you had a bad
I'm not
view.
dissing black women.
Man, you dissing every black woman in here.
Look, I look out and I see a lot
you
of
said
beautiful
black
women,
are materialistic, man. You are dead wrong, all right? You are dead wrong.
Look,
no, you don't know.
dated some because you probably had a nice
my...
car and they saw you for that and you got gassed. You got some butt and then you couldn't handle it.
You couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle it. He said it. He's brother. There it is, man. Y'all see it. You see it. Hold on, before we get back too far off the super chats. Mr. Walker Cooking, man, $10 bomb, super sticker. Thank you, good brother. Another $2 bomb. Is absolutely unreal. Not this white woman. She had to be down with the sisters. She had to be down with the sisters. Mr. Walker, $2 said, "Yo, mama black, yeah." I told y'all, man, we contributed, man. We got to take some of this blame. I'm sorry, brothers, but both of these black men are a representation of us, okay? And that's why it's very important that we have spaces like this, because back then we didn't have platforms to where black men could respond. This is one black man going against a whole audience, okay? Well, not everybody, because it's going to be a guest appearance from somebody in the audience, but damn near the whole audience against one black man. And he's been very specific by saying, "Hey, I'm talking about me personally. This ain't got nothing to do with everybody else." Okay? But that's why these spaces are important. And I remember somebody in the chat said it didn't become a gender war until black men started responding, because we never responded to stuff like this. When Ricki Lake had shows like this, there wasn't a show opposite of that ran by a black man for black men to speak on our behalf. Yeah, so like we're reacting now. There was not a place where black men, I seen that Ricki Lake episode. That was messed up how they did that black man. He said he was talking, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have that. Now we do. Now it's considered a gender war because black men started to respond, okay? And also myself starting to debunk all these false narratives that have been put out there, okay? So yes, let's continue.
Ricki, can I say something?
Yes,
Can I say something?
yes, Eric.
I can understand everybody being upset with what I say. I mean, and that's your opinion. I'm sorry, okay? But I'm on the show to tell how I feel, why I date outside my race. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
You can say what you want, but I'm still going to date outside my race. And if I decide to date a black woman somewhere along the way, then so be it.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, we have a friend, someone who's here today, who's a friend to you, Eric, and has known you for 3 years.
Right.
And she says that Eric's attitude toward black women sickens her. Let's meet this woman. You want to meet her? Pam, come on out.
Here she comes. Goodness, little sweet self.
You go, girl. What do you want to say?
You go, girl.
I've known Eric for 3 years, and for the 3 years that I've known Eric, he has not dated a single black woman.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't understand.
He told you.
I know Eric's mother very well. I know a lot of black women that he hangs out with, like myself, and we don't fit into any of the categories that he's defined today. And so I just feel like Eric's contradicting himself. You know, you love your mother, you love everything about her, you know, your friends that you hang out with, but yet, you know, you would never procreate with this person or find her good enough to marry. Mm-hmm. I think Eric sees white women as a status symbol.
No.
No.
I do.
Okay, so let me stop right there. So she just proved that this man does not hate black women. And this is a point, this is a sticking point that the black community gets fixated on. Just because a black man says, I prefer to date outside of my race based off of my experiences. She literally said, this Eric has female friends that are black. His mom is great. He loves his mother, all this type of stuff. So that proves right there it's not that. It's just sometimes you don't fit with a particular type of race of women because of certain characteristics that the majority of them display. So it may be easier for him to, partner or link up with a woman of another race because they have different characteristics and attributes, and they may care about different things, and they may respond to him differently than the women in his own race. This is not new. Anything that I'm saying is not new. I'm pretty sure damn near the whole chat has seen this, or they've said this at some point in their lives when they're discussing black men and black women's relationships. So we got to get out of this mindset that just because you see a black man with a white woman, he hates his mom or he hates black women, in general. No, it has nothing to do with that. And if black women, the majority of black women watching this were honest, you can understand that some black men just don't fit most black women's preference. That's perfectly fine to admit that. I don't know why we try and act like this is new. We know that. We know the game. The guy that stood up and was, talking about his mama black, that would probably be the guy that most black women would go for when they're younger. Okay? He would be an afterthought. This is considered Russell Wilson. Okay? Yeah, they want Russell Wilson after they done been with the guy who was saying, hey, man, your mama black. We know the game. It's just, I mean, why is this? It shouldn't be a controversial take here. Okay? Damn. Goodness. Let's continue.
No, how can you say something like that?
And what do
That's
you think of
ridiculous.
his present girlfriend?
Typical average white chick.
See,
Now, did you hear that? She called his now girlfriend typical average white chick. That was disrespectful. Fair to say, right? Hold on. Watch this.
Okay, you want to talk about generalizing stereotyping? She doesn't even know her. And all she knows is that she's white. So you want to talk about generalizing people and stereotyping people? What the hell is that?
Now, his girlfriend's name is Gina?
Yes.
Do you have any? Do you know her at all?
I've met her.
She doesn't know her. She's seen her out with me.
So wait, I'm trying to figure this out. Pam, do you have the hots for Eric? I mean,
Yes, she does. Yes, Ricky. She likes Eric, but she can't admit that in front of y'all asses. Hold on.
No,
Yes, you do. Look, yeah, we
Eric
got
and
your
our
ass.
relationship is strictly platonic, really. I mean, Eric and I
Nah,
are great
because
friends.
he said it.
much to your chagrin?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
not at all. The problem I have with Eric probably is that he places such high standards on black women. She's got to look like this. She's got to be educated. She's got to make this much money. She's got to be this.
No.
She's got to be a certain standard.
No.
Eric, she has to be a certain. No, listen. Hold up.
That's ridiculous.
They want a black woman.
That is not.
No,
that
Eric,
is not.
They
that
want
is
a
not
black
it.
woman
That is not
that
it.
is a certain standard. And to me, it makes me mad because he'll date someone.
I do not want someone.
He will date a white chick that isn't.
And one white chick in particular, Gina. We have Gina here somewhere in the audience.
Gina is here. Chat. Gina is in the audience. The average, what she said, basic white woman or whatever. Gina is here. Let's see if Gina is average. Hold on.
Meet her? Gina, go on up there.
Look at her. Little white ice. Little snow globe running around.
So, Gina, this is the typical average white chick you were talking about.
Average white chick.
What do you see going on?
I don't know. Gina look a little bit more average. She's more than average. Back in the day, that's what Patrice O'Neal said. That's a high quality white woman. Nice and white, okay. I don't know. I mean, hey, and like I said, the black woman up there is pretty as well. But Gina, that was disrespectful. This is not a typical average white woman. This is a good-looking white woman. You look white girl. Mr. Walker, $5 says salute to the cleanest brother on YouTube. Man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. I try my best, man, to make us, protect that black man's ethnic image, man. You the GOAT. Y'all the GOAT over there, man. Thank you, good brother. Appreciate that. And thank you for your input, man. I know you got the chat rocking. But watch Gina. Now, you seen how that lady talk, right? Hold on.
Here.
Oh, I don't know. I just met Pam today. I think she's really nice. No, I mean, really. No.
You see that? Just sweet. Just like he described, right? That's the difference, right? I think she's really nice. Look, what is it? Timid, docile. She's nice.
She has her opinions about racial dating, and a lot of people feel the same way she does.
How do your friends feel about you dating Eric?
My friends are pretty liberal.
How about your parents?
They're nice to him, but I think deep down it's not ideal. But
okay, yes. What do you want to say?
No, and right there, that is normal. And I don't want black men to be blind out there and just think that y'all gonna be just easily accepted into a white family. No, they got to get to know you first because they would prefer their daughters to be with a white man. Does that sound familiar? Black community would do the same thing. So if your daughter or your son came back to you and was like, hey, yo, you know, I'm about to marry this white woman or this white man, you would prefer that she would date within her race. That's perfectly fine to admit. Same thing goes for white people. They ain't no different than us. Everybody typically wants their offspring to be with their own race. Okay? Is that fair? So black men in particular, because I see the interracial marriage rates skyrocketing with black men and non-black women. Don't go out there blind thinking that they don't see you in a different type of way. Okay? So it's just normal. It's natural. Be okay. Hey, work through it. It is what it is. Just as long as they don't disrespect you. Okay? They can feel whatever they want to feel. But yeah, it is what it is. All right? Let's continue.
Because Jar has.
None of you like it. So what are you saying? Someone up there said that's racism. Okay, but what you're saying, so what, me dating her, you don't like that, right? And that's not racism.
Hang on, you're not, we can't hear you. You're not on a microphone. What do you want to say, ma'am?
I have two different points. First of all, I think where he's coming from, it's not a racial situation. He's saying that there's different types of personalities that he likes, and that he may not have found them in the particular black women that he has dated. But so that means you shouldn't really say you want to choose white women over black, because that would mean, to me, you wouldn't even pick me at all, because I'm half white and half black. So where do I fit in the picture?
I don't
But
think
that's what he said.
it
But
is.
he did
But that he didn't say that.
With
say
Eric.
that.
That's not what I'm saying is that at this time in my life, I feel more comfortable dating white women just simply because of the past experience I've had in my life with black women. Okay, and maybe
you need a stronger black woman. That's the problem.
You're probably right.
Why the hell you need a stronger black woman? What? That's what he's running away from. What? Where's the logic in that? A stronger, no. He ain't looking for Leslie Jones. God. Don't listen to me. But nah, man, he don't need a stronger black woman. He need a softer one. That's oh, sweet Christmas. Okay, fair use.
You're probably right.
That's the problem.
But until that time, what's wrong with me dating her?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying it like it's a problem. He doesn't have a problem with it.
He don't.
He's perfectly happy with Gina.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it may be nothing be wrong with her, but he's putting down the black woman. He hasn't put down the white woman. There may be nothing wrong with her. She's a beautiful lady. She may give him everything that he desires, but that doesn't mean very much.
I'm not putting down any black women. My mother's black. If I could pick a woman to be my wife, I would mold her from my mother. Okay, and just so far, Gina is the type of woman. She reminds me so much of my mother. And just because she's white, doesn't mean, you know. But what's inside of her reminds me of my mother. That's what attracted me to her.
Okay.
Maybe that's what attracted your brother to her too.
Oh.
6 years ago.
That's a totally different show.
Hey, Gina seemed like she get around. Hey, see, it seemed like Gina dated his brother, or his brother tried to hit or something. I don't know, but that's some wild work, Gina. You ain't your closet ain't clean as well. You a little runaround. That's what you is. You messing with two brothers? Yeah. Now the spotlight on your ass, sweet white. Yeah. Yeah. Everything in the dark comes to white lights. Yeah. You nasty ass. Caught your ass. All right. Let's continue.
When we come back, a white woman who says she only dates black men.
Uh-oh.
We'll be right back.
We're going to stop right here. Look at that. So this is an overlay that they had. Blacks have the lowest intermarriage rate of any non-white group, black and single. We're going to put a pin in this conversation, and we're going to check out some stats, because I want to put a pin into that right there. Let me see if I got any. Okay, we good. Now, y'all remember that overlay. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Give me a second. Let me explain to the black community what the hell is going on with this interracial marriage and why we should be aware of this. All right. So you see right there, got the overlay. Let's go here. All right. So this is the way things typically shake out. So approximate percentage married to someone of a different race / ethnicity. So that you see where it says Asian women newlywed. That was from that Pew Research 2015 report. Then you have Asian men. They had the highest of newlyweds. Hispanic women, 2015. Hispanic men. Then you have black men, all married. Then black women, all married. At this time, it was 24% for black men, and then it was 12% for black women for newlyweds on that same report. And then white men was 12% for newlyweds, and then white women newlyweds 10%. So let's continue, because we need to show this to the black community. Okay, so if we rank from highest to lowest, of course, we just did that. So important nuance. If you had all married rather than newlywed data for all groups, including Asians / Hispanics, the ordering might shift somewhat, but based on what we have, that's the approximate pattern. So this is typically how it shakes out. Now, from most interracial marriages in total numbers to fewest. So in total numbers, you guys know that white men and women, the population of them is larger than everybody else's, okay? Now, let's see here. White women, largest total married population of any group, though only 10 to 12% intermarry. Their population base is massive, so they have the highest raw numbers. And then you have white men. Same logic as above. Slightly higher interracial rate, 12%, than white women, the 10%, but fewer married men overall. Still overwhelmingly high in raw numbers. Then you have Hispanic women. Very high intermarriage percentage. 28% of newlyweds, lower for all married, but still high. Large married population results in high raw numbers. And then you have Hispanic men, very similar to Hispanic women, 26 newlywed, slightly fewer in total married population, slightly lower raw numbers. The reason why I'm going over this, guys, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but you remember Dr. Umar was going on everybody's podcast saying that black men had the highest interracial marriage rates? No, it's not true at all, okay? Just remember that. He was lying to that audience of black women. That dude. Boy. So then right here, so Asian women, highest interracial marriage rate, 36%. So there you go. But smaller married population than Hispanics or whites. Still produces substantial raw numbers. Asian men, lower interracial marriage rate, 21% than Asian women, small population. And then you have black men. Intermarriage rate, 21% of all married, population size smaller than Asians, Hispanic, whites. Raw numbers lower, even though percentage is higher than whites, okay? And then black women at the lowest. Intermarriage rate, 13%. All married, Pew Research, smaller population base. Lowest absolute number of interracial marriages. And I keep telling black women this, not to shame you guys, but when you keep giving these white men all this publicity and attention and talking about corrective promotion, we want to see more black women and white men in commercials and movies. It rarely happens, okay? And I just want y'all to go into this with your eyes wide open, because there are absolutely, excuse me, a lot of white men that will sleep with you, but a lot of them aren't marrying you. And they also will procreate with you, okay? That's why we have, a slight overage, because of, black women having sex with other men of outside the race and having their kids as well. So don't think that this is a dig. You just need to be aware. This is logical when, you have to think, wisely when you're on the dating market. You don't want to get used as a fetish, right? So you need to be aware. Make sense? Okay. Let's continue. And this is how it shakes out from most to least interracial marriages and total shared numbers. So white women lead in shared numbers. Black men come in 7th. Black women come in 8th. Okay. Now, this is something that me and ChatGPT worked out. Of course, I'm going to do my figures. So let's say you take 100 black men. Only 36% get married. Of those 36% of men, 21% or 7.56 men, 7.56 men, about 8 if you round up, married non-black women. So total population of black men who are married to white women or non-black women is 8%. 8% out of 100. However, when you shrink that to that 36%, guys, it's 21% because only 36% of black men are married. So meaning 1 in 4.5 married black men is married to a non-black woman. And 1 in 12.5 black men overall, married or not, is married to a non-black woman. This is very high considering black men are only 6% of the population, okay? Only 36% of them are married, but they still produce meaningful interracial marriage numbers. That's important, black community. Now, why this matters? Most interracial marriage studies focus on intermarriage percentage relative to those who marry, not relative to the whole population. So when a group has a low marriage rate like black men and black women, a 21% intermarriage rate becomes much more impactful because it represents a much larger proportion of the married group. It influences the overall marriage ecosystem. It shapes dating supply and demand dynamics in the community, and it widens the black male-female marriage gap. What did I just tell you? The trend analysis shows that black men are about to increase their marriage numbers to 40% in the next 2 years. Black women are projected to decrease their marriage rates, and that's not to any fault of black men dating out. It's the fact that there are more black women saying that they don't want marriage. And this has been studied. If you go watch my most recent video about this, I quoted the studies where it said that most black women say they're not interested. Most single black women aren't interested in marriage. So when the black community paints this narrative, the black people don't get married. No, black men are continuously, increasing. They're getting married. They still want marriage. So it's only black women saying that they don't need the marriage dynamic anymore. I heard a black woman say it was liking to like slavery or something like that, getting married, or there's a lot of stuff going on. They think they being subjugated and shit. So it's nothing black men can do. And this is the point, a sticking point that I'm trying to explain to the black community. Black men have stopped responding in such a manner. They stopped begging. They stopped begging black women, hey, why don't y'all like us? Why don't y'all marry us? Why you think we so bad? They stopped asking those questions, and they're just dating out. And I know we, have some pro-black folks in here. I consider myself a pro-black in certain areas, and I would love to see black men and black women partner and marry. All right, let me stop using that word partner. Marry, okay? But if our group of women, the majority of single black women are saying, I don't want marriage. I don't want marriage unless it looks like this. It's nothing black men can do. All black men can do is find women who are more suitable to their program. And they're doing that. Okay? And I know somebody is going to point out the fact that it's only 36% of black men married. But let me show you something real quick. Here, hold on. We're not done. So compared to other groups, this is the marriage rate for white men, 50 to 52%, 12%. And this is just going over the stuff. that we already discussed. But black men stand out because the percentage is high despite the low marriage rates. Okay? And then black men are the only group with a small married base, but a relatively high interracial marriage proportion. This is why, black women, that the dating pool is effective for black women. Black men have the most gendered imbalanced intermarriage pattern in America. Black men's marriage dynamics differ sharply from black women's, 13%. Oh, hold on, I want to finish that. And then community marriage narratives cannot ignore this disproportion. I keep saying this, okay? And then also the marriage gap. It's the largest in America. That 36% to 29%, that's 7 percentage points. That 7-point gap is the largest gender/marriage gap of any racial group in the United States. Okay? Check this out. How this compares. So white men, 52%. White women, 50%. Two percentage points. Hispanic Americans, 46% married men, 43% married Hispanic women. 3 percentage points. Asian men, 58%. Asian women, 55%. 3 percentage points. But then when you look at the black community, look at that. 36% to 29%. So that's why this matters. Okay? And no, I rarely hear people talking about this. They always tend to focus on the small percentage of married black men. But when you start breaking it down, you're like, damn, man, that is a large gap. And the reason for that is because there are more black women being vocal, choosing to be single, choosing to just date and, stay on the dating market. Don't want marriage, all that. Trying to join the 4B movement and stuff. It's just a bunch of stuff. People listen. Y'all, black women, you listening to me? Social media is global. Everybody is listening to y'all. So if you one of these women that's going out there saying, hey, man, I don't want marriage, and you're trying to get a man to convince you otherwise, they ain't doing that shit no more. Okay? Doubt it. 1990s love and all this is done. It is done. That's why you see half of Black X or Twitter freaking out over the Indiana Pacers on their road trip with all their white wives. When was the last time you seen a group of white men and white women like that? You rarely see that unless it's a curated space by some of these swirlers or something like that. One girl, oh man, we need more black women married to white men to join our group. But black men don't have to do that. That's why it's becoming so common right now. Y'all got to pay attention. So if this matters, then you need to start doing something about it. If it don't, black men ain't going to fight with y'all no more. They done. They may have some discourse on social media, but at the end of the day, once they log up them computers, they going and doing whatever the hell they want to do. And that's with or without you. What the black community has to come to grips with is that how are you guys going to take it if you see a more significant shift in the marriage rates, and you start seeing 40% of black men married to 40% of black men married, and then that number to interracial marriage increases to 25%. That will be 1 out of 4. So you guys said that you want black men to get married. They are getting married, just not to black women like that. Even though, let me be clear, out of the 36% of married black men, 79% currently are married to black women. But 21% is significant. So this is going to become a normal thing. Back in the day, 1994, it wasn't that normal. It wasn't that popular to be interracially married. It happened, but it wasn't normal. Now, it definitely is. And that's why you get the Indiana Pacers taking all their white wives on these damn trips. And black people, specifically black women, freaking out. It's right there. So you can't blame black men. You're either going to do something or you're going to change, or you're just not going to change at all. So all this compounds the gender gap. No other racial community has a gender gap like this. This helps explain why Black women's marriage struggles cannot be compared directly to Hispanic, white, or Asian women. The reason why they can't compare it is because that gap is so large. So Black women are unique in that aspect. For one, they don't want marriage. And for the black women that do want marriage, your message gets drawn out because you have the women who say that Black men are trash. Marriage is like being slave. It don't benefit us. Their voices are louder than yours. And that's being perfectly honest. So now when Black men hear it, all they hear is them. So they look at every Black woman out there on the dating market like, man, you ain't serious. You just want a free meal. Or you want to let me sneak in, but you ain't going to bring me soup, if I get sick. So men are just acquiescing to what you guys are offering them. Okay? So if that bothers you, then you got to change. If not, continue doing what you're doing, and Black men are going to continue moving the way that they're moving. And this is statistically backed. Pay attention. Okay? I don't know what else, man. And we're going to get back to the Ricki Lake here in a second. Give me a second. I got to get these super chats. I think I missed a couple. Yeah, I think. Did I miss this? John Doe 499 Bond. What up, though? The sisterhood and the simp enforcers have been running the same playbook for over 30 years. Yeah, and this is the proof that we need, for these spaces, because people don't think that, this stuff exists. That's why I bring this stuff here, man. So thank you. Let me see here. Did I get this one? No, I didn't get that one. Mr. Walker, $2 super chat said Gina got that black snake mo. Yeah, from them brothers. She really like brothers. H-Jack, man, what up, though? $10 bomb said, I just had a conversation with my mom about passports. I'm going to have one final talk with her about this thing. If I decide to bring home a woman of another culture, so be it. I'm not waiting on Black women. Yeah, and that's the sticking point. Back then, it used to be a conversation. Now it's not. And, man, we've been doing this whole show. Is the picture good, y'all? I don't know, man. We should have. I'm going to be pissed off if this picture is effed up. That's my fault. Hold on. Picture, we good? Okay, yeah, it's cool. All right. Thank God. Whew. I would have been mad as hell. All right, so let's get back to this Ricki Lake. I'm going to clip that up to try and put a public service announcement for the Black community, man. These Black men, they're not waiting, okay? Let me see. Where is it? All right, here we go. Let me get this real quick. Air Force Rick $5 super chat said, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Black women come up with the phrase "go where you're celebrated and not tolerated"? So they can't get mad when Black men do just that. Yeah, and they actually did. And and that's one of the points where I was saying, Air Force Rick, that Black women have been trying to date outside, or date and marry outside their race, but that's up to the men of those other races to accept them. And I don't think a lot of Black women understand that. No matter how much you champion swirl, whatever, all these little movements, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, the best man for the job, we know what that means as Black men. It's not up to y'all. It's up to them. So yeah, that was a phrase that I heard from Black women: go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And Black men are doing just that, and not in a disrespectful manner. I didn't hear the Indiana Pacers players say anything about Black women, and that's how most Black men are who date and or marry interracially. The only time that you guys actually see a Black man talking like this is on shows like this, panel shows, stuff like that. But for the overwhelming majority of Black men, there's no malice behind them dating outside their race. They just vibe with that person. I've seen it countless times in the military. Okay, it's not like somebody is just like, oh man, you know, you white, I'm black, I love it. Like, no, they don't care. None of that shit matters. And if Mona, I don't know if Mona's here, but you guys need to go check out her breakdown of that Dana's Deception series. I don't know if y'all seen that. And I sent Mona a DM because it seemed like it would be better suited for her audience. But if you want to see it, man, this black woman, she let this white dude scam her at hundreds of thousands of dollars, her and her friends. It was absolutely embarrassing. And everybody was calling it out. She was like, yeah, the reason why she let him do that is because he's white. And that's the same thing that happened on the Pop the Balloon show. You remember that black girl kept going out with that, you know, crazy white dude? He was taking me out on nice dates. And yeah, white men can get away with all kinds of shit with black women. And if you guys want to, hey, this is a testament to that swirl community, because that woman in the Dana's Deception, the one that did the videos, she was posting all of her videos with this white man on those swirl pages. She thought that she got rid of all her videos off her page because it was a couple's page before he ended up leaving, and then they ended up getting divorced. But her videos was on these swirl pages because she was promoting that. She was involved in that. But like I said, most people who date interracially, they're not even interested in all that type of stuff, man. They just happy. So yeah, go check it out. Go to Mona's page and you can see it. It was crazy. So let's get back to this Ricki Lake. Fair use. Fair use. Hold on. Where the hell is it?
You had your hand up, ma'am. What do you want to say?
You know, I want to say I am so sick of everybody. Once somebody admits what they prefer, what they like, everybody jumps down their throat. And I think you are phony because I think you probably be the first one wanting to date a white girl.
Yeah.
Black is a very black is a state of mind. It's not who you date. Wearing a Kente cloth does not make you the ultra black person. It's a state of mind, and it's what's in your heart. Where were you on Project Illiteracy when Eric was working with the poor little black kids in the ghetto? Where were you when he was working with the kids in the...
Wait, what are you saying? You know Eric?
I know Eric, yeah. And I've known him for 5 years.
It doesn't offend you that he says these things about black women?
Well, because I know what he's saying. What he's trying to verbalize something that is simply saying right now in his life is that he prefers a certain type of person. But it doesn't mean that he rejects black women. I hang out with him on a social basis quite a bit. And we hang out, we kick it, we have a great time. You know, and it's purely platonic.
So it doesn't bother you when he says that black women are materialistic?
Well, like he said, it was a certain kind. You know, she's not a materialistic girl. She said that. It was a certain kind. It was the ones that he dated. And they were always after his money. And I didn't like him for him either. You know, and that was whether they were black, red, or white. I didn't like him for him either.
You disagree with her? Stan?
Yeah. Hey, that's the most logical sister that I've ever heard on one of these shows. That's how you do it. And she called that... oh, man, I was finna cuss. And she called that dude out. Because you fake. Yeah, you would be the first one to date a white woman because he did say, I don't care if she red. Yeah, she caught your ass. And I love to see it. I love when I see black women calling that foolery out. Yeah, that's what your ass get. Pandering ass dude. I was close. Yeah.
I know, Rocky. I think that's absolutely absurd. Okay, you can find a black woman who can take care of you, just like a white woman. Okay, just like one. Okay, no way.
All right. What would you do if you just weren't attracted to your own race? Meet Kathy. Both of her parents are white, but she just isn't interested in white men. Black men are the only men that turn her on. She says that white men are dogs and dates black men exclusively. Why are white men dogs?
They're just, I can't relate to white boys. I was raised in a black area by a black family.
Wait, but both your parents were white?
Yeah, both my parents were white. And that probably starts at my father. He was an abuser. He was an alcoholic. For my first white male role model, out the window. After that.
Hey, if you don't know, and let me just go ahead and drop this nugget on the chat. White men actually lead in domestic violence arrests. Yeah, white men be going upside their women's heads. Okay, so yeah, it's on my percentages. I talked about this before. So what she's saying is probably absolutely true. Okay, let's continue.
My mother remarried. She remarried a black man. His family had to do with my upbringing, not my mother's family. They didn't want nothing to do with me. So I was raised in a black environment by a black family, around black people. I was not even really around any white people till high school.
Why are you applauding that? I don't understand.
I can't relate.
What?
You can't get it, but
Why they can't applaud? What?
I can't.
Not you. I don't get why they're clapping for that. But
Yeah, I don't understand either. But so you say because of your experiences with your birth father being an abuser.
Well, it's not just that.
That all
I tried
white
to
men
date a
are
white boy
dogs?
too. No, it's not just that. I tried to date a white boy in high school. My little sister's mixed. He was fine with it until he came home and met my little sister. Then he didn't have nothing else to say to me. And that's been
But
my
again,
experience
that's
with
one
most
white man.
No, it's not. That has been my experience with most white boys or white men that have come around me and my family. They don't have nothing to do with that.
Okay, yes.
I just want to say that I don't think you should choose a mate based on the person's color, but on the quality of the person. I think that that's what counts.
But that's what Eric is doing. He's choosing. He said when he encounters the black women that he dated, they didn't have the type of character. Then he went to the white women and they had a different type of character. It is what it is. Oh shoot! Hold on.
Yes.
I have a comment for Eric. Eric, it seems that you like the passive role. You like the easy road out. You don't want a strong person. So I don't have a problem with black or white, but I have a problem with your reasons. Your reasons shouldn't be, what they are. I think that you don't like the fact that a black woman would say, Eric, I don't understand why you're doing this. You want someone to be, yes, Eric, and a black woman would say,
Hey, there it is. There it is. It's the same. How does this generational curse has to be broken somehow? I don't know who told black women that men desire strong women or disagreeable women. It's got to stop somewhere, man. None of that shit is attractive. Goodness gracious.
I'm raising a little girl by myself. I'm raising a little girl by myself and going to school.
And she a single mom. Eric, you ass out. You doing all this shit wrong. Gina ain't Gina wild as hell. Gina dated your brother and she got a buckaroo. Yeah, your ass, you losing in this. She attracted white woman, but hey, brother, you ass out.
I can't cook.
the strongest woman I know outside my mother. So I mean.
So you're saying you're not like that. You're not passive, and you don't.
Passive, not the word. I mean, easier to approach. Where I'm from, the black women, to approach them, I'm serious. You have to either be, an athlete on a professional team, or you got to be a drug dealer.
These are all right.
The same talking points. You got to be an athlete or a drug dealer. Oh my God. Y'all see? You understand now? I don't even think I need more proof, but Lord. Oh my God. All right.
Hang on, hold up.
This is where I'm from my experience.
We live
Don't know it all about it.
Hang on, guys. Back to Kathy.
I would like to respond to her comment.
Yes.
If the quality of white men around where I lived was worth being around, then I might think about it.
All right. Well, we have your boyfriend Tony somewhere in the audience.
Oh, and you could tell she assimilated to black culture. Yeah, you the type that the type of black men like Eric. He don't like that type of white woman. He want a regular white girl. That's one of the hood white girls. Let's see here. John Doe, 499 Bomb said they applaud the white woman who only dates black men, but they shame the black man who only dates white women. The hypocrisy is real. Yeah, you caught that? That's crazy. H-Jack Man, $5 Bomb said, I said on the Rolanda Live, the new Gen Z black men are dealing with strong black women. Are black women pets? Help me out here, guys. I'm just trying to break that thought process. If a man says he wants a softer woman, it's like, nah, you need a strong woman. Like, what? We got to stop that. Jesus.
Tony, where are you? Get
Tony,
up there, guys.
There he is. Is that Chris Brown? Aw. He looks young.
What do you want to say, Tony?
Well, first, let me clear something up.
Yes.
We're not involved. She's
Right
not my
now.
girlfriend.
No, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We are friends.
Friends.
At times it
Friends
goes
who
beyond that.
sleep together.
Yes, casual.
Have
we're
slept together.
Yes.
Have slept together.
That's a true player right there. True player for Will. That's a player. And let me just clear something up right here, y'all. This ain't my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I just sneak and slide and sneak in when I need to. That's all that is. It ain't nothing. That's a true player for real right there. He could in front of the whole audience. We just sleep together. We have sleep together. We have slept together. Ain't no thing. You know what I'm saying? These are some of the worst white women you can get. These are not good representations of white women because Gina all ass out, and this woman just sneaking in. Hey, brother, hey, it may be a black woman out there for you in that crowd because these two white women ain't it. I'm sorry. So, this is 1994, and this white woman chubby, so she already ass out. Like they are not good representations. Okay, I don't care what nobody say. Oh man.
So what's your experience been?
I basically just want to support her. You know, I feel like no one in the audience can say that they're in her shoes, you know, and are going through the same thing she's going through. So I feel from, previous experiences, then she has a right to believe and, go with what she wants,
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
to
we
each
have
his own. That's
we
how I
have a
feel.
friend here today who knows you both and has a different opinion about your relationship.
Okay.
TT, come on out.
TT. Oh, look at the walk. Look at the walk. You got to tell it.
Yes, TT? Jump right in. What do you want to say about their relationship?
It ain't no relationship. Just look at her.
Look at me.
She's a
Ain't nothing
wannabe.
wrong with me, okay? You don't
She's
know
a
me like
wannabe.
that.
What do you mean she's a wannabe?
She's a wigger.
Oh.
No, baby, I don't think so. Kathy is.
See? Now, the black women up there, y'all supposed to be dispelling the stereotypes of what Eric said. You done just came up there and turned up the whole conversation. There it is. It was no need for that. This is no good.
Is what Kathy was raised to be,
She
okay?
looks
If you
bad.
don't like that, that is
So
your
wait,
problem,
I'm trying
not
to understand
mine.
what you're saying. I don't really understand.
Okay.
You're saying she's trying to be black?
Right. It's
Wrong
nothing
answer.
wrong.
She looks
It's
kinda white to
nothing.
me. I
It's
don't know.
nothing wrong with dating a black man. Okay. It's nothing wrong with a black girl dating a white man. But if a white man wanted to date her, he might as well go and date a black woman. That's why don't a white man want her.
So you saying she's black?
I wouldn't want a white.
Hey, you know what? And I just said that. I agree with TT. That woman, what's her name? The chubby one, the chubby white girl. She is the, what do they call that movement? Pasta and lobster? Or no, the black girlfriend effect or black wife effect. She is the exact opposite, or she is like the white dudes that those black wife effect women married. Because you know how they dressed them up to look like black men, you know, got them like fades and haircut and start showing them how to dress like black men. That's what she is. Okay, if y'all understand what I'm saying here, that white woman is seems like she's not necessarily cosplaying a black woman, but yeah, she's the exact opposite of the white men, are the same as those white men who were on those black wife effect challenges. The black woman got with him, showed him, you know, how black men dress, and he took a liking to it. And she's like, yeah, I gave him some sauce. It's like, no, you just showed him how to dress like and probably act like a black man. That's all it is. Okay. So yeah, so she is that. So TT is she correct, in my opinion.
Man, okay? Because white men, for one, don't know how to treat a woman. For one. No, for real. No, for
Hang
real.
on, you're generalizing again.
Well, not to generalize. Okay, I'll to quote some, in my experiences.
There you go.
Okay, with white men, they're not working.
You got to be careful with what you say around here. They're going to jump right down your throat.
No, in my experiences, white men have not to be dealt with.
All right, yes.
Yeah, I like to say something. No matter what you do, society is going to look down. Society can never approve of everything. There's always something that society is going to look down at.
And do you have a problem with what they do?
I personally do not, because I am in your shoes. I don't exclusively, but predominantly date black men.
See?
And why? I don't know. I just don't. I'm not trying to slander my race, because I think white men are beautiful too, but I just find black men just so much.
There's
just so more. Just
hey,
so
hey, black men, don't let nobody tell y'all any different. Black men always been in style. You know what I'm saying? We always been in style, brothers. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you go, whatever country, hey, we gonna be winning regardless. Okay? So, and I get it. You know, people, oh man, they fetishizing you. You know, it's like, brother, stop. Okay? Black men, you good. Okay? Even back then, 1994, we good. Okay?
Now I see. When we come back, a Mexican woman refuses to date Latin men. Don't go away. We'll be back with more.
Let's stop there. All right, we just wanted to see the black stuff. So what y'all think about that, man? Have I been proving these conversations, furthering, you know, what people said wasn't true? They didn't think that these conversations were happening on television. They absolutely were. And that was the most perfect example that we could probably ever find. Okay? So yeah, what y'all think about that, man? Thank y'all for being so vocal. That was good. That was definitely good. So I appreciate it. Yeah, man. But if you want to watch, you want to finish watching the full video, go to Talk Show Rewind on YouTube, and you could talk. You just type in Ricki Lake interracial marriage. Type in refusing to date your own race. Okay, refusing to date your own race. All right, that's what you got to put in. Ricki Lake Talk Show Rewind. Shout out to them for putting that, and I'm pretty sure they got more. But yeah, black men, we gonna be good regardless, man. It's never been a question of black men being attractive to other races of women. We've always been attracted to other races of women. The issue comes in when you start ranking them. Most women prefer white men because they associate white men with like economic status, wealth, because of the fact that they are the majority, predominant race in America. When you think of America, you think of white men. Typically, that's what every other race of women see. Even in some cases, some studies, date and divide, black women tend to prefer white women or white men. But as far as like attractiveness and arousal and, sexual attention, black men always going to be at the top of that list, regardless of wherever you go. Okay. So yeah, it's always going to be like that. Thank you, Pooh Man, for putting that in there. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. So yeah, man, that was pretty good. A little blast from the past. So let's go to the Black Elite class and educate you guys on the Gilded Age, because some people don't believe that black folks know how to act in nice spaces. We've been doing this. Here we go. This is a channel. Let me see here. Give you the title. Title of this channel is Royal Black and Elite History and Culture. I'm glad I found this video because I didn't know that I was going to read it, but she actually put a video together. The Black Elite during the Gilded Age versus today's Black Elite. So let's check this video out, okay? Let me bring that up a second. Here we go. Fair use, fair use.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for taking a little time out for Royal Black and Elite. I'm excited about today's episode. I'm Lady Trinette Wilson. I'm a social historian and etiquette expert, and it's just an honor to be in your presence. I want to say this before I get started, though. Thank you. You all, we have reached almost 2,000 subscribers, and
yeah, if you guys could give her show her some love. She has a great channel from some of the videos that I watched of hers. Yeah, go ahead and give her a like and subscribe.
Like 107,000 views, all talking about Black history, and it's because of you. So I want to thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And we've been in this series kind of discussing the election and what happened and the money that was spent. So we found out like Meg Thee Stallion was given $5 million, Beyonce given $10 million. Oprah first, they said she got $1 million. Then we find out $2.5 million somewhere in there. And even though Al Sharpton, great show, but in practical.
So HBO has a show called The Gilded Age. Okay, I didn't watch it. It came out a couple years ago.
Terms, the Gilded Age was a time between 1880 and the 1920s. When great wealth and growth happened in the United States. And this spurred much innovation, much wealth for mostly the white community. But during that time, let me look at the houses, the elegance, how they lived was just wow. So mostly white people received the wealth, but there was a contingency of blacks, and they were called the Black Elite. Now, you found these people mostly in the North, and they were in places like New York and Rhode Island. And as you can see, just beautiful men and women who were African American that had great wealth during that time. Now, during this time, the Black Elite was a stark contrast from the people who were in the South and who were not as wealthy. But even blacks in the North faced great poverty. Though during this time, we were in the middle of the Industrial Revolution and great technology being developed, Black people, even in the North, lived in slums, in housing tenements, in places that were just really not even good enough to live. They also faced great discrimination and segregation in the North. So even though it was better than in the South as far as discrimination and, racism, it was still bad. Even in the health care system, it was bad. And so blacks faced great poverty at that time, but there were also great Black people emerging, like Butler Tandy, who was the founder of the Alpha Phi.
Yeah, we got the alphas in the building. I'm pretty sure y'all know this history, but I remember my family, they used to tell us a story about, because my family is originally from Louisiana until they migrated to California. And from that migration, when they got to California, there's studies in history that shows that Black people that lived in California didn't want Southern Blacks to move there because they thought that Southern Blacks were going to mess up their neighborhoods. Can y'all believe that? Look it up. It's a history. My mom then said that they used to get somewhat discriminated against from people who are actually from California, Black folks. And when they migrated there, it was like tough to, assimilate. It may have been in the later years, but it was still a tough time where they was like, yeah, we don't want people from the South moving to California because, they're going to mess up the communities. So, yeah. So originally my family, our roots go back from Louisiana. They were, from Louisiana. So, all right, let's continue.
Alpha fraternity and the first Black people emerging, like Vertner Tandy, who was the founder of the Alpha fraternity and the first Black architect in New York, great author Ida B. Wells. So there was a contingency of Black wealthy people who were coming into the forefront, who were running parallel lives with white people. So basically, whatever the white people had, these Black people, these Black elites had. The things that I'm talking about are things like debutante balls and social clubs, all those kinds of things they had in the white community. The Black people had them as well. And it was also during this time the Black people built an insulated community, and they were made up of doctors, lawyers, real estate magnates, restaurateurs, and politicians. Much of the work that was done actually during the Civil War and even after came from the money of these Black elites, who often were part of the Underground Railroad during the Civil Rights movement. I mean, before, during slavery and after slavery. So they played a big part in the Blacks moving forward in life. And even though they lived lavishly, I mean, they traveled to Europe, they lived in mansions that created a wide gulf between the Black people who were in the South and who were poor. But they didn't realize, a lot of times these Black people didn't realize that it was these Blacks who were paying for their struggle, who were paying to get them out of their struggle, or should I say. Even then also the politicians of that time they were Black and they were Republicans. And so the world of the Black elite was very exclusive. They had a social register, similar to those in the white community. They had 400 families during the Gilded Age that they considered elite. And these registries were the sole purpose of trying to bring these wealthy people together. They had social clubs, like a place called the Social Circle, and then business ownership. So they were all leveling up, going to college, and changing life. But there was a case.
Yep. Hold on. They're going to get to it all the time, America. Brendan, what up, though? Thank you for the $20 bomb. So that's crazy. They did that to your family. My family migrated from Union Springs, Alabama to Akron, Ohio, but probably because we had off the rubber shops in the 40s, everyone seemed assimilated pretty good in Akron. Yeah, it was very tough. I know a lot of people who migrated to California had the same experience. So yeah, man, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it, brother. And thank you for the super chat.
Caste system based on color and wealth during that time as well. So even though they would help the poor little Black people, they didn't want to be around them. But you know what? Even though they didn't want to be around poor Black people, the poorest of white people didn't want to be around the richest of Black people. So there was a real gulf within the society at that time. And Black people stayed in their world and white people stayed in theirs. Now, as you can imagine, not just anybody could be a part of this 400, this Black elite class. There were some requirements. You had to be either educated, influential, or have some political connections. And of course, you had to have that money. Now, most of these well-to-do Blacks during that time went to Fisk, Oberlin, Harvard, and Yale. So they were very much educated during this time. And they had guides that highlighted the best schools that the people could go to so that they could enter into society properly. They even had little codes. A lady wrote a book. Her name was Jerry Major. When you would enter into some of these social clubs, you had special codes. And one of them was, who are your people? So we had a lot of things that made them isolated and insulated. Wealth was one of them, but even the secrets and even parts of sororities and fraternities do that today. Now, as far as fashion was a really large part of the affluent Black community. This is Madam Elizabeth Keekly. She was the seamstress for Mary Todd Lincoln, who was Abraham Lincoln's wife. And Miss Keekly's clothes are in the Black Historical Museum. And so women during that time, Black women were seamstresses. And so they did most of the sewing. They were called dressmakers back then, way easier to say. The clothing was the same. Now let's look at the food. The food, most of the Black people during that time ate like
Man, that looked good. Thanksgiving right around the corner, ain't it?
The rich white people at that time, but they did keep their Black roots as far as soul food, but also Caribbean dishes and African dishes. So they ate a variety of different food. Where they lived was lavish as well. Now, this is Mary Ellen Pleasant. I'm going to put an end card there for you to watch her video. The drama that surrounded her mansion, whew, it was a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't live like Carnegie them. You know, this is the famous staircase at the home of William A. Solomon. Come on, y'all. So this was beautiful. And during this time, you could actually, there was no income tax return, okay? And these robber barons were making millions of dollars. So you could buy a Hugo Boss suit for $12. So you could buy one of these houses for $100,000. So back in the day, that's how the Black people lived well. Not as well, but I mean, nothing to sneeze at. You know, as I was studying these families and studying this subject, one thing that I saw that was present within all of these families, it was faith, family, education, and financial wealth. These were the four pillars of their lives. And what I see with these new elites, these new people that they at least put the title of elite to, doesn't necessarily mean that they're really elite, because they don't hold true to those standards. Money is the only thing that defines them as elite, and maybe giving a little bit of money here and there to organizations that may need it. But the moral values and the moral compass that used to lead the Black community has really been replaced by people who value money over really Black life. As long as they getting paid, as long as they saying what candidate needs them to say, they will say it. But how does it really impact the Black community? If you're going to carry the title of Black elite, I believe that you have to be dedicated and committed to the success and well-being of your own people. So who are the Black elite today? I believe they're really not even tied to celebrity. They're the hard workers in our communities and our churches and our schools who truly make a difference for our community. And not
so, and I think this is a copyright song, but yeah, she actually did a great job of breaking that down and talking about the Black elite. But I agree with her, and I've been saying this before. You know, when we do the billionaire breakdowns and the Black millionaire breakdowns, it's those Black people who are in like the service industries, they own these companies and businesses. We don't give them enough praise. We typically look at, you know, the rappers and the athletes and the entertainers as the ones who represent the Black community, and that's not how it should be. Okay. I mean, we don't have any figures like Muhammad Ali back in the day. We don't have figures like Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They're not here. Okay. So we can't look back in the day. It was commonplace to go find them because they were, you know, they were in the, you know, discussions and conversations about Black people and helping Black people. But now most athletes and entertainers, they are hesitant to speak out about our needs, the Black community's needs, because it may affect their brand and their sponsorship, and they may lose followers, subscribers, likes. So things have changed. And we've also in the Black community have gotten away from faith. I know when I was younger, it was rare to hear a Black person say that they didn't believe in God. I hear that every day on or every episode of Pop the Balloon. I've never seen so many Black folks say, yeah, I don't believe in God, or I don't believe in religion, I'm atheist. And that's no judgment to them. You do what you want. But I do think in certain ways it does affect how the Black community moves. Our standards have lowered, our morals have lowered. Sometimes we get too comfortable with each other. If you are a Black person in a position, you know, to hire a Black person, you may approach them on some, you know what I'm saying, hey, what up, you know, what up, bro, what up, though? And a great place to see this is the videos that a couple of guys do. They're car salesmen, and they do these funny videos where if a Black man shows up, the white guy will be like, hold on, let me get my other guy. And then a Black guy will come out and he'll start talking, you know, like Black to him, like slang. He'll be like, hey, you know, you want to look at this Dodge Charger, this Challenger? We got the scat right here. But then when a white man comes up, it's like, hey, how you doing? You know, nice to meet you. Sometimes we get too comfortable, and I hate that shit. I hate the fact that, you know, we try and do that. And I had one example of this when I came back from Germany. I was in Germany for about 2 weeks, and this was about 2 years ago. And I think I told this story before, where I called my Uber to get back home because I didn't want, my wife to, drive late night to come pick me up. So I called my Uber, and when Uber pulled up, it was a young black dude in there. Opened the door, and it smelled like nothing but weed. No lie. And then on his, he had a song on, and it was nothing but cussing and all this type of stuff. And when I got in the car, I was like, man, I could have, declined the ride, but I wanted to talk to him. I was like, hey, man, I was like, look, I was like, I know we both black here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't have showed up to this Uber ride with your car smelling like, marijuana, or you playing this type of music if I wasn't a black man. I was like, sometimes we get too comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And this is one of the examples why. And I don't like that when, black folks do that. And like I said, I despise the code switching narrative. It's like you telling black people that you don't know how to assimilate to your environment. If it's professional, if it's relaxed, you should be able to do both. You shouldn't be telling people I can't be my true, authentic black self if that means you got to say nigga every other word. No, that's not how black people roll. We've always had these types of standards in our community. We just have to recognize them once again and replace it with all of this foolery that's going on out there. Okay? Once we get that and we stop getting so comfortable with each other, we'll be good. It's a time and place to, be relaxed and stuff like that. But if you're in a professional setting, carry yourself, like you're supposed to. That's all I ask. Okay? Yeah, it's a lot, man. So King Porter came a new member. Appreciate that, good brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And then also, everyone's Rick $5 super chat said, Media Man, I drive for Uber/Lyft, and that's one thing I hate. A lot of people wear weed like it's cologne, and it takes a week to get that smell out of my car. Yeah, man. And during this time, and thank you for acknowledging that. On this ride, I tend to dress a little bit nicely when I go, when I'm coming back to the States. And I had on a nice sports coat with a nice turtleneck that I still have somewhere around here. But yeah, man, and I was like, because when I opened the door, you could smell the weed. And I was like, nah, something told me to talk to this dude. And, he turned the music off and he was just quiet the whole time. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm not your, your dad or your uncle or brother. When I got to my house, I was like, man, just think about what I'm saying. He was like, all right, I appreciate that, folk. Like, all right, and we just left it at that. So yeah, man, we gotta stop being too comfortable with each other. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this restaurant etiquette from one of my favorite channels, Gentleman's Gazette. Man, if y'all are not following Gentleman's Gazette, please do so. They have amazing content, man. And I'm gonna just play a little bit because this video is 23 minutes, but it's called Restaurant Etiquette: How to Dine Out Like a Gentleman. Okay, so you guys, let's take a look at this. Let me get this off here. Let me see. Bang, the setup. All right. Oh, we good to go. Fair use, Gentleman's Gazette.
Ongoing series about etiquette.
Hold on.
Today we talk about restaurant etiquette, or how to dine out like a gentleman without embarrassing yourself or committing any faux pas. Restaurant dining presents an interesting human dynamic similar to flying in an airplane. You're in a public space and you have to behave in a way so others around you are comfortable and you are too. Also, Dining in a restaurant represents a lot of a person's etiquette and social skills, and because of that, it's very popular with employers to take potential employees or key leadership people out to a restaurant to see how they behave. So without further ado, let's walk through the essential restaurant etiquette that you can apply for business dinners, celebrations, events, or dates. Before you even step inside the restaurant, there are a few things to consider beforehand. Rule number one, make sure you can afford it so you don't stretch yourselves too thin financially. Eating out.
Yeah, and so this part right here, I wanted to ask you guys a question. When you go out with friends and family, how do you handle the bill? Because I know, in my friend circle, we tend to fight over the bill. If y'all notice, like, we don't sit at the table and, divvy out, you had this and you had that, so this is how much money, or we give the server 3 cards. Never do that, okay? Typically, me and my friends, we will talk about it before we go out. We say, man, I got it last time, and this is when we're at the house or something like that. I got it last time. It's your turn. So when we get to the restaurant, it's already, settled who is going to pick up the tab. Or we'll play jokes on each other and pick up the tab on our own. Like, say, I got to go use the restroom real quick. Get up and you find your server and you give them your card. And you say, hey, I'm going to take care of the bill. Here you go. Okay. And then also in regards to making sure you have enough money. And this is, for the guys, look at the price points on the restaurants that you may be taking a young woman. If it's too expensive, then don't be afraid to be like, nah, we need to find something else. If you leave it up to her to pick the restaurant. I used to do that on dates because I used to travel, or I used to live in different states. So I really didn't know the city like that. So when I met a woman in a different city, I'd be like, hey, I just got here. You let me know what's good. And typically, most women, if they like you, they're not going to pick something crazy. They're going to pick something within a nice price range so you won't be spending, out the ass and stuff like that. Only women that's trying to use you will do that. But if you pick the restaurant, make sure you have enough money, in your account, and you don't have to wait till 12 a.m. till the direct deposit hit. I've seen the videos. Don't do that, okay? Make sure you got enough money to cover whatever you need to cover, all right? Let's continue. Fair use.
Out isn't cheap. Especially in a group situation, it can be sometimes awkward to split bills or come up with something. So just going to a restaurant with a mindset of ordering water and the cheapest appetizers won't always work. Ideally, budget for eating maybe a small appetizer, a main course, and a beverage. Also make sure you have enough for a tip. According to local conventions in the US, that's anywhere from 15 to 25%. If you realize this restaurant is not within your budget, either decline the invitation or try to find another restaurant if that's in your power. You can simply say, I can't make it, or if you're comfortable, you can say, honestly, it's not within my budget. I'd be more comfortable with going to X restaurant or spending X at the most. Also,
right there. Yeah, and that's perfectly fine, man. And for the guys, if she ends up canceling the date because of that, so be it. You try again next time, okay? Let's continue.
If you have specific food preferences like gluten-free, or if you're allergic to seafood or anything else, make sure the restaurant can accommodate that, because having a long ordeal with the waiter isn't the best solution. Most importantly, make a reservation. It's the easiest way to skip a line, and if the restaurant doesn't accept the reservation, it's maybe not the best place to go out for a business dinner or a date.
Right. And we today, in present day, we have open table. Open table is amazing. If you're going to go to a nice restaurant, just go in there, make you the reservations, get there on time, and you go, you get seated immediately. It's been a long time that we went to a nice restaurant and we had to wait to see if they had how long it was going to take to get a table. Nah, man, always make reservations if you can. And just because you're making reservations, that doesn't mean that all of these places on open table are going to be expensive. You can find restaurants that are within your price range. Okay. They have a little $ thing on there where it'll tell you how much the price is. And also a lot of them have the menus already loaded. So you can check the menus out to see how it is. And you just look at the prices just to make sure that you have enough. Okay. And you honestly, just make sure you have enough money. I was about to say you shouldn't be dating if you don't have a lot of money. That's not true. People date when they don't have a lot of ducats and they get what they want. They find wives, husbands, whatever. So yeah, just make sure you have enough. Let's just say that, okay? Fair use.
Because it's completely embarrassing to wait with a business guest or a date and you have zero control about how long it's going to take or not. So once you've made a reservation, it's important to show up on time. Restaurants typically can just give your table away after 15 minutes. And even if you run late, it pays to call them because most restaurants will hold your table. At its core, showing up on time means you respect other people's time and value it and don't just look at yourself as being the most important person in the room. In today's day and age, it doesn't really matter.
Hold on, ladies. I'm looking directly at y'all asses. Because I've seen too many videos of women, you know, what do they call it? Like fashionably late. You know, oh, well, I needed time to put on my makeup. Well, if that's the case, you should have started that process an hour before. Don't ever show up to a date with with a respectable man and you are late. That man will probably leave you, or he will leave if you're not there on time. Because I understand that, you know, the safety aspect of it. A lot of women don't want men driving to their house to pick them up. Okay, so you prefer to meet the man at the restaurant. I get it, but the least that you can do as a woman who is about to get a free meal is to show up on on time. Okay, show up on time. Don't waste that man's time because you don't know, what he got going on, and that's disrespectful. I'm not really speaking to the guys on this because most men typically are on time, especially when they're about to pay for some money. Pay for somebody's food. Because that means, he like you. Men don't invest in women that they don't like. So I'm speaking directly to the women, the single women out there. Don't ever show up to a man's, to a date late. It's not a fashionable thing. I know some people like, no. Especially the guys over here, absolutely not. Okay? That's a no-go. Let's continue.
If the man or the woman enters the restaurant first, though some women may like it if you hold open the door for them when you walk in. So if there is a host, when entering the restaurant, the host will always lead, then followed by the lady, then followed by the gentleman. Traditionally, if there's no host, the gentleman takes the lead, walks in first, and pulls away the chair for the lady so she can sit. In more traditional places like Germany or Austria, you're more likely to see this kind of etiquette today. In the US, not necessarily so.
And I hate that we've become so informal in the United States. It's crazy.
Dress accordingly. Obviously, at a Gentleman's Gazette, we're big sticklers for that. But honestly, in this day and age, it's not that hard to look appropriately dressed for a venue. So what does that mean? At nicer establishments, you should skip the jeans and the sneakers. Other than that, you're probably going to be fine, even without a jacket. These days, most establishments who require a jacket or have an even more formal dress code will have loaner jackets, but honestly, you don't want to wear a jacket that's a size too big that has been worn by sweaty people before you. 3. What about coats and hats? If you live in a colder place in the winter, it can be really uncomfortable to have people around you throwing the coats over the chairs or on the benches. It just gets crowded and is uncomfortable. Traditionally, the gentleman takes the lead, helps the lady to take off her overcoat, then takes off his, and then goes to the waiter and hands him over to them so they can put it up on a wardrobe. If someone in the restaurants asks if they can take your coat and hat, just hand it to them. They may hand you a little ticket so you can get it back afterwards. If no one asks you to take your coat, simply ask where you can hang them. Most restaurants will have a place for that. Ideally, outerwear is hung away from the table so it doesn't get in the way. If you're leaving in a good restaurant, they'll hand you the coats at the table. If that's not the case as a gentleman, you quickly walk to the wardrobe, you put on your overcoat first, and then you help the lady into hers. 4, meeting your fellow diners. Let's say you're already waiting at a restaurant, or maybe the other party is late and you're already sitting. As soon as you see them, you get up from your seat, you stand up, and you shake their hand.
You see that?
If you arrive in
Hey. Right there. Okay. Always stand up, man. It's very important. If I see it, I don't like that. I will pull somebody's hand up, man. Stand up. Don't sit down. All right.
advance of your dining mates, maybe because they're late or simply because you met it there earlier. You always stand up to greet them and come over. In most Western cultures, that means you give them a handshake. Sometimes it means a hug, but it all depends on the culture you're in. So be aware about the local habits. In any case, never stay seated and just give them a handshake, because that's not the proper way to do it. Of course, a nice smile also goes along with it and is much better than someone just stoically looking at you and giving you a handshake without any pressure whatsoever. 5, how do you sit at a restaurant? At home, you may be slouching or just sitting in a way that's comfortable for you. At a restaurant, ideally, you sit upright, but it shouldn't look uptight. So what exactly does that mean? Ideally, you sit on the entire chair, you have both feet firmly on the ground, and you can lean back and just make sure you're open and not slouching.
Look at his wrist.
Your arms should be kept close to your body and not wander around the table. You can totally rest your hands on the table, but only up to about the wrists. Further down is traditionally not acceptable. Under no circumstances should you have your elbows on top of the table. 6, how should you engage with the staff at the restaurant? Chances are you've experienced an unfriendly server who gave you the feeling that you should be lucky to dine in his or her presence. Regardless of their behavior, it's always best if you react in a calm and polite manner. After all, you belong there, don't give them a reason to think otherwise. The server has a name tag, or if they introduce you with their name,
yeah, try and use their name. I think he's going to say that.
Then that's what you should call them.
Okay.
If you don't know their name, or for some reason you forgot it and you want to catch their attention mid-dinner, make sure to seek eye contact and give them a very discreet hand gesture. It doesn't mean you should be waving or snapping your fingers or whistling at them. Less is more. Also, keep in mind, just because you're paying for a meal doesn't mean you can treat staff like they're worth less than you. Or
this is so important, guys. It tells a lot about a person's character if you are mean to the servers.
In a disrespectful manner. Confident men always treat others with respect, no matter if they're the janitor or if they do any other part of work, because it's important and they're just confident enough in their own abilities. To learn more about that, please check out the video on 16 things confident men never do.
All right, so let's stop it right there, because I actually got to get out of here. Yeah, family. So, yeah, but this video is titled, make sure I get it, Restaurant Etiquette, How to Dine Out Like a Gentleman. And it's on the Gentleman's Gazette. Poolman actually put the link in the description. Let me see. He put it in the chat right here. So if you want to watch the end of it, you can. But I think I may have covered most of the stuff they're going to talk about. But they have the visuals with it. So you guys be on the lookout for those videos that I'm going to clip up. I may put them. I don't know where I'm going to put these videos. Maybe on the Stash channel. I'll put them on my regular channel as well. But yeah, so I'm going to clip it up so you guys can have it for your, for your knowledge, just in case. Yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know this is a quicker show, but the holidays coming up, and I got to work today. I have to work today, tomorrow, off Wednesday, Thursday. I took Wednesday off. So yeah, so be chilling. Hopefully I'll be able to do another one of those love connection videos if I have time. But I'm not going to commit to it just yet. But just please be on the lookout for the videos that are clipped up. Thank you guys again for supporting the channel. And thank you for attending this type of live stream where we started off with dining etiquette. Again, it's out of the norm, but I think certain things we can pass on to each other just so you can have it in your back pocket and you can remember when you're dining out. You want to, impress your date. Same thing with the ladies. You don't want to be like the young lady who was holding a fork like that. Hopefully she'll be able to see videos like this because, I just felt bad as people was cooking her, but it's all good. We all have to learn sometime. And hopefully I was able to teach you guys some things about, dining etiquette, how to set up a table, so on and so forth. Okay. So I truly appreciate all the support. You guys have no idea. Thank you. I'm going to get out of here. Let me see here. Thank you, Olua. So thanks. Have a great holiday week with family. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Blessings to you and everybody in the chat, man. Please be safe. Thank you, Pooh Man, for the updates. Thank you for putting all the links in the chat. Greatly appreciated, man. This is an amazing show. Thank you to everybody that sent in super chats. Appreciate that. But yeah, if I'm not able to come back prior to the holiday, Thanksgiving, just know, you guys, I appreciate everything that you do for my channel. Enjoy your family. Enjoy some good food. Be safe out there during the holiday season. And also, don't forget, Black Friday. Black folks, we don't need no more TVs. Okay? We got enough TVs. So if Walmart is saying they got a sale on TVs for Black Friday, I bet not see one black person in there rumbling trying to get one. Because damn near every year, people buying TVs. Why y'all need a TV every year? Why I say that? We don't need no more TVs, okay? We rumbling over TVs. All right, let's get out of here, man. Thank y'all. Fair use on this song. I think it may be copyrighted, but it is what it is. I deal with it later. But until next time, Media Man out. God bless. Peace and blessings. Thank you again.
A fast car. I wanted to get to any